Angela, the sales manager, logs into QuoteX and creates a quote request. She assigns Chris as delivery reviewer and provide description of request for the pre-sales team. Vikram, the solution architect, logs into QuoteX and assigns the quote request to himself. He follows up and creates a quote. And defines project-level assumptions. Vikram navigates to Scope Size Effort section to define scope for the project. He adds the scope defined by the subject matter experts from Scope Library. And manually add additional scopes. After defining the description and assumption of the scope, he proceeds to add related role and efforts needed. However, Vikram wants to get a double check from SME. So he copies the scope link and collaborates with Sean using Chatter for reviewing the scope. Sean, who is the subject matter expert, logs into QuoteX. Sean, while reviewing the scope, notices that an additional role, such as UI architect, is required to perform the scope. So he adds the new role and efforts. After done, Sean informs Vikram about his review status using Chatter. Vikram proceeds and applies the organization staffing rules and spread role template on the scopes defined. He also notices that total hours and high-level average cost is calculated. As the next step, he now creates a timeline using timeline libraries. He validates the roles and hours with the capacity needs from scoping and sizing exercise. And notices that UX architect role is not defined in timeline, so he defines it. And add the estimated hours. He continued to update the hours to bring estimate hours for each role to the capacity needs. He validates the calculated sales margin on the Overview tab and applies the travel and expenses to the timeline. Also applies the other costs. He creates a high-level project plan for milestones and project cycle artifacts such as sprints, scope checkpoint, etc. Quickly validates the timeline roles and hours against the organization staffing rules. When done, submits the quote request for delivery reviewer, in this case, Chris, for approval. Chris logs into QuoteX. Navigates to the quote for review. Validate the scopes and the hours plus resource mix on each scope. He He quickly checks the quote dashboard and navigates to the timeline for review. Chris notices that the subcontractor cost and prices is not mentioned on the timeline, so he adds those details. Staffing rules shows green and so is the timeline dashboard. Chris approves the quote request. Shelley, who is the pre-sales lead, logs into QuoteX. And generates the statement of work. Shelley marks the quote request to complete and notifies Angela about the attached SOW document using Chatter.